Michael Chandler is going to cheer for Conor McGregor, according to Michael Chandler, because he wants to fight Conor. Chandler is coming from a point of, I am confident. I am going to beat Charles Oliveira. I'm going to be the world champion. This is the number one contenders fight. I got to fight one of them, and I'd rather fight the Irishman. Okay. Not a surprise. Not a surprise at all. But it is interesting. I mean, to watch Chandler come into a new organization, this is a sport that Chandler knows. He didn't know a damn thing about the UFC. He really doesn't, other than I'm a fan. To watch him come in and not get a single one wrong. Chandler didn't get this many right when he was at Bellator, and he was at Bellator for over 10 years. Every single thing I see from Chandler. Chandler said, I will make Khabib 29 and Chandler. Got a better line for me in the last year? I'll listen. When you're giving out awards at the end of the year, you want to know the greatest line, the single greatest soundbite? He is 29 and Chandler. And now he's saying, bring me Conor, and he's already overlooking Oliveira. So now I got to back up. Oh, hold on. Hold on. How will that fight go? I had given an analysis one night. Chandler was getting ready to fight Benson Henderson. Now, that's a hard night. Benson can definitely beat Chandler, and Chandler can beat Benson, right? Both world champs. That's just a hard night. No one's going to disagree with that. But what does it take to beat Chandler? I'll tell you, or at least I'll tell you what I told the world on the broadcast. I talked about what Patrici was able to do, what Pitbull was able to do to Chandler, which was to lead the dance, go first, get in his face, back him up. Don't let him take charge, meaning Chandler. Don't let him take charge. You have to throw this rhythm off. Don't let him get going because he's a snowball. And he only gets bigger and better as the night goes on. You got to stop him from the start. And the reason I bring that to you, Chandler wrote me afterwards. He wrote me, so I went back, I watched the fight, and I heard what you said in your analysis as to why Benson could beat me. And he said, you're very good at what you do. And that was all he said. That's all he said. But that was a very nice compliment. I appreciated it. But he's also telling me I'm right. Now, for him to tell me I'm right, don't think I just gave away the keys to the castle. Don't think that I just go, oh my God, Chandler admitted to Chael that the one thing you have to do is go out and take charge and beat her the punch first. No. Chandler's admitting that he knows it. Right? A problem for a guy is only a problem if the guy doesn't know he has it. If Chandler was able to assess himself, come to me, say that my assessment of him, that I was right, nice compliment he gave me, but for him to be able to do that means that he recognizes, what means he started to correct it. And I only bring that to you because I remember that night. I remember when they were getting ready to fight. I remember going, man, this is a big fight. This is going to be a hard night. But I also remember that the only thing that I had to turn to was this one evening. And when I do look fast forward to Chandler's time in the UFC with Dan Hooker, that's one thing Hooker did not do. Hooker did a lot of moving. Hooker had a different strategy. It was very lateral, both ways, a lot of movement, a lot of space. And I don't know if he was going to do that for the whole first round or just until he got a little bit comfortable, but it was very clear what Hooker was going to do, which was stay on the outside, go a little bit left, go a little bit right. Chandler's still walking him down. Boom. Right? Chandler finally read those motions. He's very compact. He's very strong. Chandler, so you get hit with him, you got big problems, particularly in the first round. Does Oliveira have a better and or different strategy and game plan? Because Oliveira will get into a fist fight himself. He will get right into the mix. One thing that Oliveira did with Tony Ferguson is he mixed it up. He came with the strikes right into the wrestling. He used the takedown to go right into the pass, right into the pound, right into a submission, and then repeat. But there was never a time in that fight, and it would be very hard for you even now as observers of that fight, to tell me what was the story of that fight. Tell me which art, which discipline was most prominently on display. It'd be very hard because it wasn't just jiu-jitsu on the ground. It was ground and pound. Ground and pound is different than jiu-jitsu, or even on the feet. You couldn't just tell me it was the boxing because of all the kicks that were thrown in there. But the wrestling was also a big. He mixed it up. Even if the majority of that fight was on the ground and it was a clinic by Oliveira, it was different styles on the ground. It wasn't just what you're going to see under the unified rules and submission underground. You had ground and pound going on. You had passing, you had position, you had posture. There was a lot of things that Oliveira threw out there. I think if he can duplicate that performance with Chandler, it would behoove him to do so. Now you have problem number 2, which is, can you do it before he does it to you? Chandler's a very compact, he's a very strong guy. I think most guys look at him as a real muscle shark. If you are one of those guys, then you're missing, he's fast. Chandler is fast. And most guys that are strong aren't fast. Most guys that are really fast aren't muscle sharks. He's both. Complain about the DNA all you want, man. The guy got the best of both worlds, but it is a reality. And you've got to take that speed into consideration. If you want to come out there and take charge, and I don't know that Oliveira has lightning speed to do it or lightning power, overwhelming power like, say, Pitbull does. But I do think that Oliveira has a great ability to make you guess which attack is coming next. Am I going to use an elbow or am I going to drop down to a single leg? He can make you guess. It's a very interesting fight. Chandler's already looking past it. I'm still looking at it. It's a very interesting fight. And this is one of these fights Chandler can